So I would like to welcome first speaker, Nao Saito from Tokyo. Thank you. Thank you.
Today I want to introduce about the project. It's Tactile map, and it's made for Tokyo National Museum. The voice is okay? So this is the Tokyo National Museum. It's located in Tokyo, and it's the oldest museum in Japan. And this is, they have 5 buildings in the site, and this is the main building, and its facade. Main building has a Japanese permanent collection of Japanese art, and so it has the national treasure and important cultural property. They have very high class collection, and the architecture itself is very interesting. It's designed by one modern architect, Jin Watanabe, and built in 1937. So as an architecture, it has very rich meaning and also space. So this is the tactile map I designed for Tokyo National Museum main building. It's located in room 20. It is the exhibition room for education. And it's located by the entrance hall, so when you enter and turn left, there is this exhibition room. And there is always volunteer people in this room, and now one volunteer is always standing by this map. And so this map is installed as a permanent object in this exhibition room. So this is the map you see from the up. This is about 2 meters long and 60 centimeters depth. And it's basically floor plan. So there is from basement to second floor, and a floor plan, and below the floor plan there is we call map key. There is the example of the pattern, and besides that there is Braille and Japanese and English text to tell that which is the exhibition room. This map is made as a part of the school project for visually impaired school. It was 1 year long project in 2010 to 2011, and it's done by Education Department in Tokyo National Museum, and it's funded by Ministry of Culture. And through the tactile map is part of this starting up project for school visit for visually impaired school. I just tell briefly about myself. I have an architecture background, and I studied design in Finland. So I have the background of Japan and Scandinavia. And how I start to deal with tactile map is I designed one tactile map for Finnish Federation of Visually Impaired in Helsinki in 2004. And somehow this continued until now. I think tactile sense function, when I think about tactile sense to read the information, I would say that tactile sense is very intellectual sense, and it's really based on your experience. Like the thing you touch and what you will get the information out of it is really based on your experience behind. If you don't have experience, you don't get information. And this becomes a quite important issue when I'm designing tactile map for museum. So there is 4 questions I had at the beginning, and I made a design solution for that. So I want to follow this timeline I experienced. So first question was please imagine the occasion when visually impaired people visit the museum. I think visually impaired people always visit the museum with his sighted friend or family. They never come to the museum by themselves for the first time, at least. And this is the key fact for designing tactile map. We wanted to make a map which is for visually impaired people and sighted people to read together. So it is more like a communication map. So this is the pieces which illustrate each exhibition room, and it mainly illustrates the context of the exhibition room. And I try to design so that it somehow becomes the trigger of the conversation, like wondering what is this, or which one you like, or such. And the second question is how sensitive an object in the museum space can be. This map is very sensitive map. It has textile, it has Japanese traditional materials. So of course there was the worry like how it will last, how we can take care of it. There are so many visitors, is it durable, and such issue. But it was also our decision that let's make very colorful map, and for fingers and also for eyes. And we have been using this for 1.5 years, and it is in very good condition, and I'm very happy about this. So third question was visually impaired people walking through the exhibition space, and all objects are behind the glass. It is in the vitrines. That was quite big question for me, like why I'm designing tactile map for visually impaired people. They don't touch any object while they are walking through the exhibition space. They just listen verbal explanation with, from the guide or from the friend. What can I do with this? And for the special exhibition rooms, there is 5 rooms which tells about materials and techniques of Japanese traditional art. And for that 5 rooms, we decided to make a piece done by real material and done by traditional Japanese craft people. So it is wooden sculpture and text art by Ryukyu, it's south part of Japan. Ceramic, sword, lacquer, urushi is Japanese lacquerware, metalwork, and also embroidery from Ainu, which is our native people in northern part of Japan. Sorry, I wanted to say one more. My intention was I want them to experience the beauty of the Japanese art. And we know that they have very small experience of touching Japanese art. Maybe we all don't have so much experience of touching real. And as I said at the beginning, the tactile sense is very based on your own experience. So, while you are reading map, maybe you can gain some new experience. So what is the most important function? And it is a map to read and walk in the museum. This was kind of the big criteria when I'm designing the priority of the design. It's not hands-on, or it's not hands-on that you can touch for longer time. It's, you stand in front of the map for short time, and the main thing is you decide where you want to go with your friend and walk in the space. So it should be briefly but effectively. Sorry, it's a bit. There is, but architecture space has a very clear character. There is Japanese art. Sorry, it's a bit messy. There is the main exhibition rooms about Japanese art history, and on the first floor there is this special exhibition room about material, and also the third layer is architecture itself. Since architecture has a very rich, this building has a very rich architectural space, I wanted to also emphasize the place or point that you can stand and touch or feel about the essence of the architectural space. And to read, like, kind of in short time, the topic that each map piece tell is only one thing. This is the example. It's room 11 and it's Japanese udon sculpture, and we pick up one statue from the collection, and it's the shape of drape of robe from the Buddha. This is the, on the left side there is two pieces. It's for the user taste and made by the craftsman. And upper one is the represents the shape, but with the clay. So material is different. And the bottom one is it's wood, but she did the kind of antique finishing, and also put the gold leaf finishing. And after this user test, we end up so that our final piece doesn't have any finishing. It only keeps the original shape of the statue, and hinoki is the very typical material, wood material for the Buddha statue. And because when visually impaired person touching this antique finishing piece, she said it really kind of bother because the texture of the fiber of the wood tells another layer of the information. And I wanted to avoid this, and also I wanted to really tell the how elegantly the Buddha wear the clothes. And the last concept is we take the pattern which tell the basic unit of verbal explanation. I have two examples, room 13 for metal works, and here we take lotus, and room 1 is it's done of Japanese art, and we take the spiral motif. And lotus is, you know, the unit of the lotus is repeatedly explained when you hear the verbal explanation of the metal works. And also the spiral is the motif of this time of the vessel. So you also hear the, you know, about spiral many times when you are in this room. So kind of I was trying to find the motif which can be the basic knowledge to understand the verbal explanation while you are walking in the exhibition place. So feedbacks from visually impaired people and also museum. In this special committee for 1 year, we had a researcher. She herself is totally blind, and she gave a great feedback while I'm designing the tactile map. And when it's done and before its installation, I made a one-to-one and with all kind of finishing material mock-up. And when all the visually impaired school in Japan came to the museum to know about this project, and I get a lot of feedback, and that's you know also I did some minor change, and we had one time inviting high school student and university student to listen their opinion, because this map is basically for school visit, so we wanted to work with high school student. And while this, I think they are basically very happy and appreciate about this tactile map, but it's of course new experience for them. And I figure out, I listen a lot of confusion at the beginning while they start to touch. And I figure out it's because I said this is map. And because I remember one experience, the girl in middle, she's a university student, and while she's touching, she was saying, oh, it's, you know, in one point she realized, this is like an art piece, and it's the painting of this building. And then she really started to use her imagination to read and kind of, you know, talk. And I thought it's maybe there is the map has image that it's more like direct informative, and but this map is like little bit has the playfulness, so it takes time to you know, for visitors to understand. But with the volunteer staff always, I think you know, we have been doing quite good with visually impaired people. And the museum is also very happy, because they said since they have this map, it shows that they really welcome visually impaired people, and that's very good statement. And it's also function for all kind of people, because actually visually impaired people is very small, you know, percentage of the whole museum visitors. So and it's very popular for kids and foreign people, I hear. And volunteer staff use this tool to explain about the exhibition, and in that way. And also they talk about the original purpose of this map. And so I think I hope this will be kind of, you know, good introduction for museum visitors to see the collection in a little bit different way, or imagine like the, you know, people besides you who also see the collection in the space. Thank you very much.